Hey, what's going on YouTube? So this video is going to be about all the different ways to obtain energy within the game, and I'm going to go through my daily tasks that I'd run in order to obtain it in the most efficient way possible. So starting off, we will go to the daily rewards. So whether you want it or not, it's on random days. You will see some rewards similar to the gold, a varying amount of energy um, from here. So not the most reliable way, obviously, since it's based on the days that you are, I think, consistently logging in is what it's based on. So that is a way to obtain it, but not something you can really control. Next up would be adventures. So I don't have much knowledge on adventures. I definitely plan on researching that and creating a video for that in the future. But for right now, just looking at it, obviously there's 5 energy right here. Obviously I also have a 5-star. Others I'm assuming will probably have lower stars than that depending on your level and also the amount of time it takes to complete the adventure is larger because of the star count, so potentially those could be lower. Um, the amount of time it takes to get it, and this might be the same or less, but for right now, it's not really part of my daily quest, just on the fact that I don't have kind of the requirements for some of these, like level 75 and all these different categories is pretty tough. But it is a way to obtain it if it's possible for you, go for it. But it is not currently part of my routine. So next up would be the guild ranking, guild crowns rewards. So based on where your guild, how many crowns your guild obtains total, you can get anywhere from 10 energy up to 40. This is obviously on a weekly basis and after a reset on an event, so it's not super reliable as far as consistency on a daily basis because it's a weekly bonus, but it's also just another good way to get energy and honestly something that um, you can just put on the back burners and it's just a fortunate resource to have. But just be aware of it. You know, collect your crowns. It's good for yourself and your guild in the long run. So make sure you collect those. So next, that kind of segues into the daily quests, which is how you get your crowns. So I've already completed mine for the day. It's usually just my go-to. Previous videos show that for sure. So big thing is daily quests. It gives you pretty much everything that you need. The most important one, at least for this video, would be the 50 energy for completing all the tasks below. The final task gives you majority of your rewards, and the primary one that I'm focused on is the 50 energy. Let's see, next up would be the campaign or the islands within the campaign. So whenever you go into a battle, the shining objects in the background can drop, well, depending on the dungeon that you're, the island that you're on. If it's any of these special ones to the side here, um, it drops based on what that dungeon is. But normal dungeons, if you go into them, the shining objects either gives you gold or it gives you energy. So each shining object could have up to 3 energy. I think that's kind of the max, but you can have multiple shining objects per I don't know, room within the island or the dungeon within the island, however that works. You can have multiple shining objects within there. I think the most energy I've gotten back from hitting the shining objects has been 9. Um, so you just be on the lookout for that whenever you're farming. Don't just, you can set your phone down. Obviously, there's that automated feature, but if you're concerned about your energy, it'd be a good thing to just kind of peek in every now and then and click on a shining object and just obtain as much energy back as possible. It won't give you energy every time, and you won't have a shining object every time, but it's just good to be on the lookout for it. Let's see, the next place would be the shop. I'm assuming everyone knows this one. For those newer players that don't, so within the shop, within items, there is a section here for energy. You can, this grayed out area is a video that you can watch for free. It's just 30 seconds. You watch it, you hit your X in the top right, and you get 50 energy. And then over to the right here, it says 100 gems, but that's only because I bought 3 before this. So actually, what I do is I buy the 25, the 50, and the 75. Good tip for those who don't have that many gems. What I usually do is I run the Tower of Pawnage, and based on the amount of gems it gives me is how much I buy, and I try to leave just enough gems, a surplus of gems from the Tower of Pawnage, so I just buy up to that amount. So if I get like 130 130 gems from the Tower of Pawnage, I would just buy the 25 and the 50, because the 75 would put me over the 130 that I got. So I just do something like that just to still keep myself in a surplus of gems so I can still build them up, but get my extra energy. Nowadays, I'm not really worried about that. I usually earn it back from events or the guild crown event. Gives you like 200 gems, I think. So I'm a little less worried about it. I usually just go for 25, 50, and 75. And I don't make a 100 gem purchase unless I really need to in the event. Let's see here. I think the last one here is the Aether shop. So this is more pointed towards potentially mid, but mostly end game. You can obtain these Aether tokens whenever you get any of the heroes to 6 stars. It doesn't matter what level they are, as far as bronze, silver, gold, or legendary. You can just get any of them to 6 and you'll unlock the Aether shop. You might have to be level 50 minimum as well, but I'm not sure on that. But essentially, how you obtain these tokens is if you get more tokens for a hero that you have 6 stars on already, it converts the tokens into Aether. I'll probably leave the conversion for Aether in the description for you guys to look at. But essentially, you build up these tokens, and as you can see, you can purchase stamina. I'd say obviously if you're going to purchase stamina from here, I would go for the 1,000, because you get to save that many tokens, and similar to, well, not as similar, I guess, but Aether's pretty hard to come by. This is kind of lifetime. I think I bought this once, and it was a mistake because I haven't gotten my epic skins yet. But that is also a way to obtain energy, and in case you were wondering, this is also how a lot of the higher level people in guilds and stuff like that get such high scores that they do, is because they have every champion 6 starred, so every token that they obtain gives them Aether, so then it kind of recycles itself. But sticking to the topic of the video, energy, I'm now going to run you through kind of what my daily looks like as far as energy goes. So like I said, starting off the day, I usually run my daily quests pretty quickly, just so I don't have to worry about them later. I'd say tips on that. I'll probably say that for another video, actually. So I run my dailies and I get my 50 energy. So what I make sure that I pay attention to, though, is if I am not in a surplus, if I am beneath my 115 or whatever your number is to the right, if it is not, if the left side does not match that number, if you're still, if your deal is still building up, then make sure not to collect your energy quite yet. Let the remaining amount fill up, because that's just free energy that you don't, I mean, that's just free energy that you don't have to do anything for. You just have to wait. So that's my big recommendation there. Just wait until that maxes out, because you can go past the maximum. So that's usually what I do. So once I'm done with that, I head over to the Tower of Pawnage. Like I was talking about earlier, I get my gems and I head over to the shop and I grab my free video 50 energy there. And then I buy my 25, 50, and 75. And that essentially kind of caps out my day. So I end with adding 200 energy to whatever I have here. And overall, what I do is I just keep stacking that. This event is a bad example, but usually it's reset day on Monday, and then I usually just build up my energy up until Thursday is usually when events happen, and I just exhaust all my energy on that Thursday in order to get a good position within the guild for the next event. So overall, that's how I approach energy. Um, biggest biggest advice I'd say is just take advantage of the free stuff. So the videos, don't forget to get at least that if you don't want to spend gems. Make sure this is filled up before you obtain any energy, and then make sure you do your daily quests. Those are huge in the long run. But that's about it. If you have any questions, leave a comment, like and subscribe to the video if you appreciate it and want to follow more of my content, and I'll see you in the next one.